Kyle, what are we talking about today?
We're talking about Shadows over Innistrad.
That is correct. Yes, it is the 70th Magic expansion and the first of the Shadow over Innistrad block. Released April 8th, 2016, and is a large expansion. This is right before you entered college, correct?
This was a year before.
Year before college.
Yeah.
With this set, we're actually looking at a gothic horror theme in the plane of Innistrad. Basically, spirits that you'll be seeing in white and blue, zombies in the blue and black, werewolves in green and red, and then vampires in the black and red, and of course, the humans.
Selesnya.
Yeah, and the green and white. Kyle, you mind going over the themes and mechanics for us?
Yeah, so there's going to be 3 new, during that time period, mechanics that came out, which is Delirium, Investigate, and Skulk. As well as that, Madness and Transform are returning with double face cards on top of that. So with Delirium, it's an ability word that gives you an advantageous effect whenever there are 4 or more card types among cards in your graveyard, and there are 8 different types out there. So wouldn't be that hard. I mean, I'm not really a big fan of Delirium. I think I only saw maybe 1 or 2 cards that looked somewhat relevant in today's Magic, being 2024. But Investigate is cool because you're making those colorless clue tokens that now gives the ability to draw when you sacrifice it and pay 2 generic mana. And then Skulk is the evasion ability, meaning this creature can't be blocked by creatures with greater power. So those are the mechanics that we have going on. I mean, Transform and as well as double face cards are not new, especially in today's Magic, but those are going to be our themes, art, and mechanics. Next up, we have story time, and story time is going to be about what was going on in this time period. Innistrad is a world beset by terrible evils and on all sides betrayed by the hope it held most dear. Avacyn has finally returned, but what new evils have come with her? Madness is plaguing the inhabitants, terror falls from the skies on blood-spattered wings, and nameless horrors lurk in the shadows. Odd things are afoot. The forces that had protected the humans have been twisted into something dark and strange. Jace Bellerin of the Gatewatch investigates the dark mysteries, while Soren is in search of the whereabouts of Nahiri. So it sounds like there's a lot of tomfoolery going on there, don't you think, Tom?
I hate you. Impressive, Kyle. No, great story. And as far as it goes, we know that this story goes into the following set, Eldritch Moon. And in this case, Soren, Jace, and Nahiri are all part of that story. And then later on, adding a few new characters that would be later part of the Gatewatch.
Yeah, so we're going to go over to our commanders now. Tom, why don't you take it away?
That's right. You know it here, folks. He's vicious. He's ugly. He's green as anything. He's a frog. A horror frog. The Gitrog monster. With 3 generic and Golgari, he comes in as a 6/6 Death Toucher. That's right. He touches you, you die. And at the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice the Gitrog monster unless you sacrifice a land. And then you may play an additional land on each of your turns, and whenever 1 or more lands are put into your graveyard from anywhere, you're going to draw a card. So guess what? Your fetch lands are your best friends. Or your best lands, I should say. And going into a little bit further, you're going to be playing with those cards that have the recursion, playing lands from your graveyard text, right? Ramunap, going into Crucible Worlds. We also have new ones like Conduit of the Worlds, having like big bangers like Scape Shift, where you're going to be sacrificing any number of lands, then being able to put that many onto the battlefield. You're going to be drawing a lot of cards at that point because you want to be putting your lands in your graveyard. Vraska is also another good one, sacrificing permanents. The list goes on and on. But overall, this is a deck where you're going to be seeing a lot of triggers happen and a lot of tomfoolery, to say the least.
Or a full Tom.
All right.
Ho ho!
This is stupid. But anyways, Kyle, that's my commander. How about you?
Yeah, so my commander, considering he took basically the best one in there, is going to be Sigarda Heron's Grace. It's an angel, it's 3 generic, and Selesnya. It is a 4/5 with flying. You and humans you control have hexproof. Then its other ability is to generic exile a card from your graveyard. Put a 1/1 white human soldier creature token onto the battlefield. There's two ways to go about it that I see for building this deck. You're going to go either the humans route or you're going to go the humans route. So you're going with humans, and you're going to be putting some of the big bangers out there. You're going to be putting Kyler. You're going to be putting Thalia's Lieutenant. You're going to be putting Catilda into this deck because of their abilities, amping up, putting 1/1 counters, as well as ETB triggers that are going off. And then on top of that, you're going to be able to start mana fixing with Catilda. So those are just some of the cards that I see that are absolute must-haves for this. There's Torrens. There's also Angel of Glory's Rise. There's a lot that is going on with humans. It's a very powerful tribal style in my eyes. I mean, do you think that, or
it has to be? Yeah, if it's not humans, it doesn't matter.
Exactly. So that's why I chose it, and I mean, to have hexproof is pretty cool. I think so. It's because you're protecting yourself from. We're going over to my fire favorites.
Fire faves.
We're going to start out with Cryptolith Rite. It is 1 generic, 1 green. It is an enchantment. Creatures you control have tap it, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. This is just great for mana fixing. I think it originated from this set too, so this is the start of it. We've definitely seen some reprints, but overall, that's why it's my fire fave. Tom, do you guys something you want to add?
Cryptolith Rite is good.
Good. Next up, we have Anguished Unmaking. I believe this is the first time that this has been printed as well during this block. It's 1 generic, Orzhov. It's an instant. Exile target non-land permanent. You lose 3 life. Pretty straightforward. It's a powerful card that we still do see today. That's why it's one of my fire faves. Tom?
Yeah, it's just a good card. Exiling is good.
Yeah, and it's non-land permanent, so you can go after anything. That isn't a land.
It's good.
And then finally, I'm going to do a sorcery. Open the Armory. 1 generic and 1 white. This is search your library for an aura or equipment card. Reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. This is only 2 mana, and you can go out and get one of your swords. If you have the extra mana, you can automatically play it, and if you have like Sigarda's Aid on the battlefield already, you can then put that and attach it to a creature. Or if you have Bruno or Battlehammer, then you can attach it for free. So, a lot of versatility with this card. Definitely only going to be in Voltron decks or Aura decks. Your thoughts?
Card's going for about $1 or less. That I'm seeing. About $1. It's a good card. Good pickup for any type of tutor in your Voltron.
Absolutely. So, Tom, what do we got for your fire faves?
Archangel Avacyn. With this, it's a very interesting play style in a Boros deck. But basically, what Archangel Avacyn is, it's a 3 generic, 2 white, flash, flying, vigilance. And when it enters the battlefield, creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. And when a non-angel creature you control dies, you get to transform it. So the way that you want to play this deck is by having self-sacrifice creatures that are on the battlefield that can die itself in a Boros-centric style. So for example, Selfless Savior, when Archangel Avacyn's out, it dies. Now you have a 3 damage board wipe to each creature and each opponent. And so that's the way that you would be playing this deck. And then besides that, smash and face with Boros. It's a flyer too, by the way. And when it flips, it's a 6/5 flyer, to be exact. You're dealing a lot of damage. Really great card. I think it has what it takes to. Either way, it's a good card. After that,
fave.
It's fire fave. Thing in Ice is another one. I thought this one was pretty cool, especially with instants and sorceries. 2 basically generic blue mana creature horror. Comes out as a 0/4 defender, and Thing in Ice enters the battlefield with 4 ice counters on it. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, you're going to remove an ice counter from Thing of Ice, and then when all the ice counters are gone, you're going to transform it. When it transforms, you're going to return all non-horror creatures to its owner hand. It reminds me of the red version where it was I forget the name of it, Basically, whenever you cast an instant sorcery, you're going to put a certain amount of counters on it. Then it turns into a dragon. And then each time you cast an instant sorcery, it's going to deal 2 damage after becoming a 4/4 dragon. This is just going to be returning all those creatures. I think it's a good card.
That's not what the egg turns into?
Huh?
Is that what Smoldering Egg turns into?
Yeah, Smoldering Egg. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, those are pretty fire. Let's go to our Slayer Nay segment.